What's going on, motherfuckers? I am Goat. Welcome back to Warframe. I am finally feeling better. I probably will be clearing my throat, occasional sniffles, but I am way better than what the fuck I was just a few days ago. On that, we're going to cover a couple of things. Now, I went through while sick and did the whole relationship thing because I wanted to see the New Year's interaction, because everybody was talking about the New Year's kiss and all that crap. So if you haven't seen it, we're going to look at that bullshit right now. So Aoi was the first one who started climbing up quicker than the rest of them, so I just kind of stuck with her. So once you go through the seasonal stuff on that Palm 2 computer, you do all your seasonal rewards and you get, to the next round, so on and so forth. So you progress the year and get all the rewards from each season, and then you get to New Year's. That's what happens. So you log in and this just immediately pops the fuck up and you get this little scene. And yes, I changed the look of my drifter. A little. That beard was a little rough.
Anytime, anywhere, it's us. Together.
So there's the interaction. That's what you get for all that effort. It's fine. When this is done and the year resets, you can choose to just negate out the relationship and start over. It gives you that prompt. I'm just leaving it as is just to see what happens. But what we're going to get into for the rest of this video is the Nyx rework, first of all. So I've got a couple of builds. I've got the original build that I've used for quite a period of time with Nyx, and even with her rework, it still works perfectly fine. Okay, so with the whole shebang, I'm not even on that build at the moment. With the whole shebang, I've got a couple of ability duration. I've got one for energy max, and honestly, using the assimilate augment energy max is kind of at a premium with her because it is a continuous draw kind of setup, channeled ability, and then a couple of parkour shards for movement. Now, they have increased the movement for her a little bit, and you can jump and do a roll at the same time. You just can't bullet jump and parkour around. So having these on there makes her movement really cool. With assimilate turned the fuck off, or what is it, absorb, with absorb turned off, yeah, you are flying like a crackhead. So what we've got is Nyx gains 40% critical chance on primary and secondary weapons per confused enemy within affinity range. Now, that's something that they fixed, and it's up to 200%. It's a good time, okay? Good time. So I've got Roar on this build. We're going to go to the base kit, because I do have a base kit build, which is... God damn it, how did I fuck that up? It's not supposed to be that. It is supposed to be... The fuck did I have that on there for? It's supposed to be mold augmented. I don't know why that was that way. Anyway, so with the base kit, mind control. So we are now getting true radiation damage instead of radiation effect. That goes with this, and that goes with chaos. So it's a good time. We're actually getting the stackable damage like we wanted instead of just having this weird effect. And that's really more for the chaos part than the mind control part. Now, the mind control part is pretty fun if you pick a tanky fucking enemy and kind of shoot the shit out of them at first. Kind of stack a little bit of extra shit on them because they actually tend to do a little bit more damage and they tend to fuck shit up. That being said, I still think, my personal opinion, mind control is still probably the weakest of her kit, although it is usable. It's very usable, and instead of the mind control guy just kind of following you around, now the motherfucker runs around like a fucking... just a crazy bastard killing people. So it's a good time. So like it says, when Nyx shoots them, they also have an increased damage multiplier. So yeah, so they do more damage. So they have a massive damage increase thanks to this build and the augment. They have fire rate and speed, so on and so forth. Pretty much as we know. Psychic bolts. Now this is kind of a cool little feature that they added. Psychic bolts has always been psychic bolts. You need 130% ability strength for it to armor strip, and that's really all you needed. But you can do more. Okay, you can definitely do more. As you can see by this, you can absolutely do more with this. what they've now done is not only do you armor strip and you take some armor, but now you shield strip, take some shields, and if you hit a motherfucker with overguard, you take some of their overguard and you get their overguard. So you now have an overguard max with this. You decrease enemy speed as before. But yeah, you can do some cool shit. And if you kill an enemy that's been hit by psychic bolts, it scatters 2 more bolts out to hit other enemies with that particular function. So therefore you hit shields or armor or overguard or whatever happens to be nearby the enemy that you killed that has already been afflicted by psychic bolts. So albeit it's a little limited with only having 3 potential armor strip enemies, if you kill them quick enough, you will absolutely fuck up other people. And especially, you know, if you've got at least some decent duration to the build, you know, like armor buff duration, so on. It's a good time. So the debuff duration, 22.12 seconds. It's not super long, and that's with a couple of, you know, just regular Crimson Shards on there, because it's what I had. Then we go to Chaos. So like I said, we get just a base 10 stacks of fucking radiation, but it also helps spread radiation around. So that can be used in a few ways. Like, you know, if you're trying to build up ability, you know, function, you can replace the blue shard with, you know, a topaz shard and get more ability strength. Like, I think it's 10% ability strength per enemy that's killed with radiation damage, if I remember correctly. So a topaz shard can have function with this due to absorb, because absorb can build up a lot of fucking damage. But yeah, you know, decent duration, you know, good radius, you know, and again, we'll show the build, you know, and so on and so forth. And then we have Absorb, which used to just be the static bubble of Nyx hovering like a weird monk and, you know, couldn't do shit without the Assimilate mod, and that was the only way that you could move around. Well, now you can move around without the Assimilate mod, and it's on duration instead. Or you can use the Assimilate mod and give yourself the channeled ability function, but have actual walking, jump, roll type of movement. Excuse me. So it's kind of how you want to do it. You know, it's got its explosion radius like before. It has, you know, a speed multiplier. It's got, you know, a lot of the things that you were all used to. And it gives, you know, like weapon damage buffs, so on and so forth. You know, so like a lot of the same, but just some tweaks to how it functions. So the build for the base kit, and this is, again, if you want to go weak. Now, there's other auras. If you want to do an aura forma, you can absolutely do an aura forma, and there are other auras that you can apply in here that can put in some work. But personally, I like using the Assimilate mod, albeit it's a channeled ability, hence why I have the blue shard on her. So give myself a little bit more energy. You know, without throwing too much forma into this or changing polarizations around to something that I'm not using on another build, so on and so forth. Excuse me. This functions very, very, very well on its base setup. And again, if you don't have Arcane Energize, energy is not a huge problem, especially if you're running something like Tenet Galaxian with Photon Overcharge. So you can bypass not having Arcane Energize if you don't have one. At this point, I don't know if you don't, you know, like it's pretty hard to not have one unless you're early in the game. Multi-efficiency is nice because, you know, shields, duration, makes it to where you got a pretty decent duration time. So this is just, you know, the base setup. You've got Assimilate, which basically just turns it into a channeled ability. And it has the area of effect. So it's okay. You know, Mind Freak is absolutely what makes the first ability worth using if you're not at a position where you can do subsumes yet. Or if you're just really wanting to use her base kit, Mind Freak is an absolute good fucking time. The one mind controlled person that you do get does some shit if you shoot them after you, right as you mind control them. They will sit there and just fuck a motherfucker up. So it's a good time. Okay, so this is base kit. So the Roar kit is almost the same. As you saw, apparently when I copied the fucking build over, I just completely goofed and forgot to fucking change it, and I've been running it like that. So I'm dumb. So instead of running Mind Freak, we're going to put Roar on here, boost the ability strength a little bit more, and then come home with, you know, 66.9 overall damage increase. Pretty much functions the same way, except you don't even worry about the mind control, and you absolutely wreck the shit out of anything close to you. And again, see, I goofed on the copy. My God, dude, I am I am trash at the moment. I'm sorry. I am total trash at the moment. It's my fault. Should have been that. Bad. I've been out of it, man. I'm sorry. So the Roar build is basically just the base kit build with some minor tweaks, a little bit more range, a little bit more strength, and building up even more strength with Molt Augmented. Now, I also have a Nourish build. Now, the Nourish build is, some might think, a little stupid, okay? And in a lot of ways, it is an old build, okay? That still functions very, very, very much. Now, this is completely unnecessary in a lot of ways, okay? And I have to really, really put that in there as this being completely unnecessary. The primary reason being is because while using a channeled ability, you're not regenning energy, okay? So something like Energy Siphon is completely useless at this point. Like, I've been running these other two builds enough that I completely just forgot to change this crap. So we're going to change it right now, if I can get to what the fuck I'm looking for. So we're going to put Sprint Boost here because I don't have an Aura Form on her, so it is what it is. Energy Nexus is really kind of useless, okay, because it just doesn't do a goddamn thing, at least not like you want. So yeah, let's do, the fuck am I thinking here? That's what I'm thinking. Augur Secrets. I mean, like, I could do Augur Reach if I wanted to. I really could. You know, but we have Endurance Drift for more parkour. We have Iris Hatred, which that one's not necessary. You can kind of put whatever fuck you want to on there, but ability duration is really more the focus on that one, on how I had the old build set up. And having a little bit of health is not a bad idea, especially if you have to pop in and out of Absorb. You tend to, you know, be able to use Arcane Blessing, which is fine. Don't need to, though. I mean, like, you can turn around and run Arcane Energize and Molt Augmented. You really can. Totally fine. Like, 100%. You can literally just walk around and absorb and just fuck their day up and let this shit just build up even better from a lower ability strength. Right? So, I mean, like, do we need an Iris Hatred? Abso-fucking-lutely not. No. No, like, we could just simply just go Augur Reach right here. Give ourselves at least 130% range. That way, when we're in Assimilate, that, you know, area of effect is, you know, being half doesn't cut our nuts off, so it's a good time, right? So it is what it is. But this is pretty damn functional as it sits. You got plenty of ability duration. Excuse me. Plenty of ability duration, just a fair enough amount of range, because her range really isn't too trash. And then enough ability strength to where once you stack up with Molt Augmented, you're going to be plus 200% ability strength as it is once you kill 250 enemies, and we have a ton of energy to deal with, so we have a nice energy pool. As far as the weapons go, Tenet Galaxian for energy. Secondary is kind of whatever. Incarnate Furus is funny, because, like, the only Acolyte that you have any concerns whatsoever about is Violence, so unless you run into a Nullifier or one of the combos that'll nullify ability, that'll shut your abilities off, or if you run into the Acolyte Violence, you're pretty much just not going to die. And then the melee, again, with armor strips, something as simple as the Dojo Serrata will absolutely wreck the fuck out of everything by toxin procking them to death, if they haven't killed themselves by that point. And then I'm personally using Nautilus, just so I can pull the enemies into me really, really easily, and then the Veriglass Prime. If you don't have the Veriglass, you can just simply use you can use Artax. Artax, actually, funny enough, works very well. A lot of people sleep on that one. If you just want to stun them, you can use the Tazakor, but I am using the Veriglass with a gas cold setup, you know, and then just buffing whatever the Galaxian is doing. So pretty simple. I mean, pretty simple setup, you know. Nautilus, pretty goddamn simple. You know, we're focusing on cordon to pull enemies in, assault mode to just kind of chase after them a little bit. Nothing crazy. Actually, can I bump that or no? I forget. No, I cannot. You know, Prime Regen for just shortening that duration time. Vacuum is obvious. The bond mods are obvious. Synth Deconstruct for some health orb drops, which that can change because, you know, like Arcane Blessing isn't on here. You know, again, I mean, like, it's pretty simple shit. There's obvious changes that can be made. So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can do. And you can pretty much run, like, any goddamn, you know, any one of these fuckers you can run. For example, you know, if you were to do something like Equilibrium on here instead of something like, you know, Augur Secrets or Augur Message, you know, because you can sacrifice a little duration because her duration really is not all that bad. So you can sacrifice out the duration here a little bit and get by just fine. And you could do something like Equilibrium, and then you can run, you know, Nautilus with Synth Deconstruct, and then you're constantly converting the health orbs that you can get from Death Cube instead of Nautilus, and you can still boost up your energy that way, and then you don't even need Arcane Energize. You can run whatever the hell you want to. It's lots and lots and lots of things that you can do with this. And yes, you'll see one that says Apex Tank. That is literally just a shield gate build. It's a test build in progress, so let's just gloss right over that one for now. I don't do a lot of shield gate builds because I'm not a big fan of them, but it's a shield gate build that I'm testing, and I've been testing a few weapon ideas for some slam attack options or some just direct weapon attack options, so just bear with me on that. If I have a good enough setup that I think people will be able to get behind, I'll post it, but if not, it is what it is. So yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of options to build with this, but and by the way, I didn't say it, but Nourish, the primary thing behind this is that when people look at Nourish, normally you look at a threefold set of circumstances that work with Nourish, okay? And it is the energy multiplier, it is the damage, which is ability damage, right? Or you know, just damage output, right? And then viral damage imbued on your weapons, okay? So, for example, the Tenet Galaxian set up, I believe, with Corrosive, if I remember correctly. Corrosive, Magnetic, and Cold, because it's a magnetic progenitor, it is a cold-based weapon, and it has corrosive damage on it, and obviously that cold does not stack into the magnetic because it's a progenitor and then base damage. So it's two segregated damages there, which just makes Galvanize Aptitude that much better with this motherfucker, but it keeps the cold for Photon Overcharge to do its job by giving us energy orb drops. Hence why I'm not running Equilibrium, because I can literally just, you know, kind of rope-a-dope, walk fuck around and just shoot everybody with this damn thing and they die, and then Nautilus is boosting the the Verglass is sitting there just boosting the bejesus out of the gun. So it makes, you know, armor strip, kill, get energy orbs, have a nice day. It's pretty simple. Yeah. But then with, you know, Nourish, you also imbue viral onto the weapon as well. So the energy multiplier, if you're running an assimilate setup, is really the one thing that's just kind of ixnayed out the fucking window, because while channeled ability is running, you're not going to be sitting there regenerating energy. So it kind of is what it is. Parkour. So let's go show this baby off. I mean, like, has Nyx been greatly improved? I think Nyx is improved enough that she is far more playable because of certain conditions. The psychic bolt spreading, the actual radiation proccing from the you know, chaos, coupled with the minor changes in movement with assimilate, albeit with or without.
These foes deserve your respect. Honor them.
Oh god, of course. I'm on the wrong shit. That's why.
Victory.
Close enough. Yep, we're good. God, look at that parkour, baby. No capes. If I could highlight the right shit.
They have just shut down all systems. I'm sending life support capsules your way.
Yeah, that wasn't what I was trying to do. Like we noticed, my shields are just like capped out now because I've been killing people that have been affected by the psychic bolts. Yeah, let's just keep that up, fellas. Let's see, with Nourish running, I am just interjecting a shit ton of damage on people, and they don't like it. You know, but with the parkour shards, I have a really good amount of movement. Which, I mean, do you need 2 Tau Forge? No. I mean, you can get away with 1 Tau Forge, but 2 is really, really nice.
Life support incoming.
It's like damage vulnerability is just hilariously funny with this. Hi, bud. That's right, I'm running Bazarin.
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
I mean, like, yeah, it's a little slow. So, like, honestly, like, something like this, I have found personally is great solo. It's kind of meh in a squad, albeit the squad will never have to revive your ass because, as you see, I am just never running out of fucking energy, especially running the Galaxian. It's just kind of not a thing. See, you fuckers don't need shield and armor. What are you talking about? You guys are crazy. Look, man, they're over here just kicking the shit out of each other. Look here, hold on. Armor strip fellow with overguard. Look at this. It's just a Serrata, man. There goes that Xmas. Don't anybody tell me that Serrata's bad, okay? Like, is it as good as Glade Prime? No. But is it dog shit? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Hey, you guys got in the way. I wanted to kill those guys. And see, like, the whole jumping, like, you can jump and dodge roll, so that does increase some movement, and you can jump and get a full charge out of a glaive throw. It's quite nice. Hey, buddy.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
And see, like, if we even remotely think we're gonna get low on energy, just start shooting the motherfuckers again. Galaxian pretty much just absolutely maintains the shit out of whatever the hell you're trying to do. Hold on, you're shooting at me, is that? And we have no more psychic bolts floating about? That is rude. We must fix this. So you think you're funny. You can die. Dude, I remember when Blast and Magnetic were just such useless damages. You know, like they really were. They were just piss poor. Nobody wanted to use them because they just couldn't kill anything. And now it's like both of them are just great. And yes, you'll see that overguard breaking thing and the overguard not reading. I'm assuming that is some sort of a bug because it says you're stealing overguard and then you don't. So it's kind of like, okay, that's a thing. Hey, how you doing? Excuse me, I said, how are you? Oh, you. Dirty bitch. Oh, it's you. Bye. Chaos, some psychic bolts, and then just absolutely wreck the fuck out of the crowd, because why not? I mean, like, if you just don't want to die, that's a perfect way to fucking, you know, make that happen. Because you bring all the enemies to you with Nautilus, and then you just basically just annihilate the fuck out of everything near you. Kind of hard to complain about it. Hi, bud. How are you? See, so like some people might think, oh man, that nurse setup, that's, why would you do that? You could just use Roar, get the base out, you know, get that base, you know, big PV damage output. Be honest, it don't matter. It works. Putting viral plus getting damage, that's a good time. You see, like, we don't need this, so we'll just parkour. Whee! The parkour shards, just jump across the whole fucking room. So that's the next rework. I am a fan. I'm a fan of the affinity buff in the passive. I am a fan of, you know, the massive amount of oomph that the, you know, mind control got. I do like the psychic bolts change. I like the fact of actually getting radiation procs with chaos instead of just acting like radiation. And I do like the fact of the damage output for, you know, using absorb. So, I mean, like, you know, just subtle changes. Subtle changes are all the difference in the world with a frame like Nyx. Doesn't take a lot, just a little. So, yeah, that's it for this one. So, folks, thanks you. Yeah, thanks you. See, I told you, I am. Thank you very much for watching. As always, we'll catch you in the next one, all right?